Ken here, your thrifty apprentice. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Faber Castell Creative Studio Goldfaber colored pencil line. This is a 24 pencil set. However, there are 48 pencils in the entire Goldfaber line for colored pencils. This comes in a very nice and sturdy tin, which is to be expected. Faber Castell has been in existence since 1761, so they have been producing art supplies for a very long time. And as we all know by now, if you're new to the art game and you don't know, let me inform you, they excel at making pencils. So the front of the tin has some really nice artwork here, and it says Faber Castell Creative Studio Quality. Flipping it over on the back, 24 colored pencils. They are 3.3 millimeter leads in them. It says that they have excellent light fastness. They're soft with vibrant color laydown, that they're very highly pigmented, water resistant and smudge proof, high break resistance due to a secure bonding process, and that they easily sharpen with all normal pencil sharpeners. There is a color swatch chart included with the corresponding numbers for each color. It also lets you know that the pencils are made in Germany. Of course, that's where Faber Castell is. Flipping the tin back over, that's pretty much the packaging. Let's take a look on the inside. The lid of the box, more logoing and artwork. It tells you that the Creative Studio concept enables both aspiring and hobby artists to express and enjoy their creativity with a high quality offer fulfilling all needs. There is a little pamphlet included here that has really nice artwork. I'm just going to kind of swing it really quickly so you guys can kind of take a glance. There are some learning techniques in here. It talks to you about passion with creations. Kind of talks to you about inspiration and leading you in the right direction for that. The reverse side of the brochure or pamphlet has a color swatch chart, again, with the corresponding color numbers. This is the same verbiage that was on the top of the tin. And under the assortment, it lets you know that the Goldfaber colored pencils are available in 48 bright and ultra light fast colors. Again, the second time we're hearing that claim. The 3.3 millimeter lid is glued the entire pencil length into the wood, making it extremely break resistant, and water-based varnish protecting the pencils is environmentally friendly. So, some really nice facts to know, especially if you are into protecting the environment. Let's take a look at the pencils themselves. Here we have our standard round colored pencil barrel. It has a, darkish, bluish, tannish, grayish tone to it. Goldfaber Faber Castell logoing is printed on the pencil. The opposite side says that they're made in Germany, has a SKU number for open stock purchases, and it also includes, once again, the number corresponding to the pencil itself. The end of the barrels are color coordinated to the lead of each pencil. However, the end of the barrel is also domed and capped. Therefore, you cannot see whether or not you're getting a completely centered lead in the pencils. On top of the fact that they're in a tin when you originally get them, and they're already pre-sharpened. So, the only way to truly know, a little tip that I found out, especially if it's domed, if you happen to sharpen one of the pencils and one side of the wood, and let me see, I think I have one. Here, this one is off a little bit. Especially if you're using a pencil sharpener that you know exactly sharpens to a point. If one side of the wood rises up much higher than the other side of the wood when you're sharpening a pencil, no matter how many times you sharpen it, more than likely that lid was a little off-centered. And I just learned that recently, and I thought that was a very helpful tip to share with you guys. All right. And that could go for watercolor pencils as well. So that's pretty much the barrels. Now, we will notice that there were no light fast star chart ratings or number chart ratings. There are no color names listed anywhere, barrels or packaging. However, I did my research, of course, before I decided to do this review. And if you visit the Faber Castell website and go to their Goldfaber section, you can find the color names for each color pencil in correspondence to the number for the pencil. So, and I'll show you guys that as soon as I show you the swatch sheet. So that's pretty much the barrel. And let's just take a look here at the colors themselves and talk about the pencils. So I swatched the pencils out 2 different times. I swatched them once on a watercolor paper. This is a 140 pound, no, this is a 90 pound watercolor paper, excuse me. And it has tooth to it. And I also swatched them out on smooth cardstock because I also use colored pencils when I'm doing my card creations. Now, you're going to notice throughout this video, I actually use the colored pencils on a different variety of papers simply because I wanted to get an all-around feel of how the pencils would perform regardless of what type of paper you were using. I will also throw out this little note. When it comes to colored pencils, I do suggest a paper that is, you know, semi-thick to thick, sturdy, that has a small tooth to it. Maybe not exactly smooth, but not really toothy and rough either. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So let's look at the colors here. The colors were really nice and vibrant on both swatches. The pigmentation was really nice and smooth. The pencils were really easy to handle. And this is just in the swatching process that I'm talking about. The lead is really smooth and creamy and buttery. They're really soft. I love that. And of course, you know, if you don't know, or things that you will grow to know about colored pencils as you use them, is that the softer the lead, the more it'll fill in the tooth of the paper. So the less you'll have to layer, especially if it's an opaque pencil. But those are just kind of things that you learn as you go along. And that's kind of getting off track of the review. So we have some really nice yellows, some beautiful oranges. I love the reds. I actually like the entire color selection. Now there's only 48 colors in the entire Goldfaber colored pencil line. And I think that the 24 package is a very nice look into that 48 colors because you kind of get what I feel are the primaries. And from what I looked at online, the other 24 pencils, which by the way, I have gone ahead and ordered because I'll throw it out there now. I love these pencils. So I did go ahead and order the other 24s to complete the entire 48 set. The reward, I think, is going to be worth it. So I did some blending here to see if I could mix the pencils or if they would muddy up, if they would be vibrant, how they blended. Now, I typically use the pressure of the pencil to do my blending. Of course, there are different aspects and different ways you can blend colored pencils, from using a solvent to using a colorless blender. There are a lot of different methods out there, but the one I tend to use the most is to varnish. Which is to use the force of the pencil to smooth the texture. And we'll get into talking about that much more into the channel as we dive deeper into exploring colored pencils. I want to throw 2 things out while I'm at it. 1, all the opinions in this video are completely my own. I am not sponsored in any way. I just wanted to share the things that I've learned with you guys. 2, I am going ahead and doing the review on this pencil set because if we're going to be exploring pencils on this channel, I want to give you guys a good starting point to work from. There's going to be a nice medium that's not going to, you're not going to get bored with, and you're not going to hate that you spend your money on it because it's going to perform well. Colors layer really well. Love the fact that they do that. Of course, we don't talk about lifting and colored pencils unless we're talking about blending the pencils with a solvent. And if you have too much solvent, you can actually lift at that point, but that's a horse of a different color. They don't naturally lift unless you're trying to erase, which by the way, these do erase well. Although they're really highly pigmented, I was able to erase really well with them when I needed to, doing certain compositions. So the first thing I did was using the toothy white watercolor paper. I just kind of drew out this little flower because I wanted to get a real good running start and feel for the pencils. I really loved the way that they performed. I like the depth. I like the fact that using the technique that I typically use, which is varnishing, I was really able to get a really nice, smooth looking composition And to tell you the truth, I actually tend to like sketchy lines in my colored pencil work, but I was just really impressed from the jump. So then I thought to myself, I'll go ahead and do it on cardstock because I know I'll be using the colored pencils to color a lot of my stamp work. Very opaque. That's what I discovered. These are some very opaque pencils, which means that they're going to work really, really well as standalone art supplies for a project. Now, you know, if you use colored pencils in a mixed media aspect, which a lot of us do, then the opacity of them, you tend to want it to be more maybe on the transparent side because you're layering it with other things. These pencils, on the other hand, are rather opaque. And with that said, they still layer well, allowing you to see the colors, which, as you can see, I was able to do here with the blending. And I was also able to do on the composition that I did on the cardstock of these cherries. And these were just, this was a 4-colored composition. This was a 3-colored composition, maybe 4-color composition as well. So I'm able to pull from the pencils and get all of the colors that I would need to, you know, really be able to pull off artwork. And I like that due to the fact that it's only a range of 24. If you know anything about colored pencils, the more the better. So after painting the cherries, I decided that I would make fruit the focal object that I paint for the month of May. So the next thing I did was a orange slice, and I just kind of pulled up an image on my phone. Again, I was just kind of playing around with the pencils because at the time I was really having fun. I mean, that buttery lid will really draw you in. Here, the pencils, again, blended really well. I love the fact that you're able to get the really rich color depth. And I kept thinking to myself that these are just student grade pencils. This is not a professional grade of pencil, and I guess I shouldn't be too blown away because it's Faber Castell, and I was kind of impressed with their classic line of pencils. So I guess I shouldn't be too blown away, but, you know, I had fun. I ended up doing a lot of pencil work because I was having such fun with these pencils. And ironically enough, check this out. So they are smooth and creamy, but I've done quite a few compositions, and as you can see from looking at some of them, I mean, I've put some wear and tear on a few, but they're still pretty long and full barrel there. So I really kind of like that. Although they have a super buttery lid, they still kind of didn't wear out really fast. The next thing I did was decide to try to blend the pencils with a white, and I did a Bird of Paradise flower. So I laid down my color, got it as rich as I needed to do. Then I took my white pencil from the set and I used that to varnish with. Now keep in mind, using that particular technique instead of using a colorless blender will actually kind of lighten out your colors, but I didn't mind. I really liked the way it came out. The pencils actually blended really smooth, and I was able to follow the texture of the flower to make it look a little bit better. I really wish I had done this on toned paper, but here I was actually testing it on mixed media paper. This is Canson XL mixed media paper. So we've had watercolor paper, then cardstock. Now I wanted to test it on mixed media paper, which would be a little bit more toothy than the cardstock, but not quite as toothy as the watercolor paper was. Here, still the same thing. They performed to impress me. So the last thing I did before I decided doing this review was to put up a tutorial on the channel in which I did these raspberries, and I was shooting for a really lifelike composition with the pencils. For all intents and purposes, I think it came out really well. I mean, I would just be repeating the exact same things I've already said before about the other ones. It worked. They worked out really well, and I really enjoyed them. It took me quite a long time to do this composition, more so because I was just having fun playing around with the pencils versus the fact that they were hard to use, and it just took me a long time. So let's talk about pricing. You can find the pencils on Amazon. Now, I'm going to give you pricing for both the 24 and the 48, just in case you decide you want to get all 48 in one whop and be done. Amazon 24 count is $29.99. 48 count is $42.23. Not bad. Michaels, you can get the 24 count for $36.99. Currently with a 20% coupon, making them $29.50. You can get the complete 48 set line for $64.99 with a 20% coupon, making it $51.99. So if you're going to go for the 48 count set, I say go for Amazon. $42.23, get it out the way, it's done. You have the complete 48 count set, and you don't have to add any more. You can also buy them open stock at Michael's for $1.59 a pencil. Now, I got mine from Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby has the 24 count set for $29.99 with a 40% coupon, making them $17.99 after tax, just right at a whopping 20 bucks for the 24 pencils, which is why I say that they are very affordable. However, if you want to just buy a few and start your own collection, then Hobby Lobby also has them open stock at $1.49. Now, I told you earlier that I ordered the other 24 in order to complete the 48 count line. Now, I was not able to order the other 24 in a set because this is the only 24 set they offer. It's either the 24 or the 48. So I ordered the other 24 open stock directly from the Faber Castell USA website. I do believe I paid $1.25 a pencil for them there, if I'm not mistaken. So I was able to go ahead and get the other 24. That's how impressed I was. With all that said, I'm sure you can tell at this point, I definitely recommend the pencils. They are smudge proof. They do not smudge, so you do not have to seal them in any way. I love that about them. Now, although there are no light fast ratings actually included on the packaging or on the pencil, we are talking about Faber Castell, and I am willing to bet my bottom dollar that they are light fast. I will be using them in compositions that I'm hanging on my wall. I will be using them in things that I decide to sell or things that I decide to gift because I trust that they are light fast. If Faber Castell was a brand new company, then maybe not. But in all this time, tried and true light testing for so many of their products, I will bet my bottom dollar that they are light fast. The price is absolutely wonderful for them, especially if you get them from Hobby Lobby. I even saw the 13-pack set in Walmart the other day for like 12 bucks. So they're very accessible. Another great thing about them. They layer really, really well, although they are opaque. And I did not show you anything that I did in a mixed media form with the pencils in this particular project, or this particular video, excuse me. But if you watched any of my other videos, you've more than likely seen me use the pencil in a mixed media aspect just to get some experience with it. What am I missing? And the colors mix cleanly when you intend to mix them. I had no issue with the color mixing at all in any of the compositions. And when you darken them up, they stand alone without any problem. Drawbacks. Drawbacks is that, there's only 48 pencils in the complete line. So if you're one of those people who would need a bigger set of pencils, which I don't think you do, because the 24 work really well. You really could stop there. So I'm pretty sure 48 is a pretty comprehensive set. And they've done their homework to put that set together really well, just judging off of the 24 count, that is. Other cons, guys, I'll be honest, I really can't think of any, especially when you talk about the price. Again, you can get them for $17.99 at Hobby Lobby. Go ahead and order them from there, or go in one of your Hobby Lobbies and use your 40% coupon and pick them up. I mean, it's that simple. I'm pretty sure you can get them at other places. If you want to source them out, type in Faber Castell Goldfaber color pencil and the Google search engine, and then hit that little shopping tab, and it's going to pull up all the places that you can order from locally and abroad. So yeah. So guys, that's pretty much all I have on these pencils. Hopefully I've given you some information that you can use to make a decision about whether or not you would like to add these to your art supply. I definitely recommend them, especially if you're just starting off and you're looking for a very nice set to start off with and you want to make a good investment for your first buy. I definitely recommend these pencils. Even if not, even if you're a professional artist, I think you will still love these pencils. If you liked any of the information, guys, give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you can keep up with the great new content going on the channel. Go ahead and hit us up on Facebook and like us there so you can keep up with the things going on with the channel both on and off camera, don't forget to use the comment section. I would love to converse with you guys. Let me know what you think about the pencils if you're going to get them. And if you have them, let me know what you think about them, how they perform for you. Don't forget to share the video, guys, because sharing is caring, and it's going to really help grow the channel. Even if you don't think anybody else is interested, you'll be surprised. So go ahead and share for me. And remember, as I tell you at the end of every single video, just keep painting.